This video was inspired by a help desk question where the user was asking about how to save WISE catalogs, and they were confused about all the different ways to get the catalogs in different formats in which they could save the catalogs. So here's an overview of what I'm going to cover in this brief video. All the different ways to get WISE catalogs at IRSA. There are basically 3 ways to do it. Via the WISE image service, in which you get images first and then catalogs. Via the catalog search tool, which you can get to from the front page via at least 2 different ways. Or via IRSA Viewer, where you can search via the catalogs tab or explicitly via a tab search. You can also do it via APIs, but I'm not going to cover that in this video. From any of the above search results, in order to save the results, you click on the diskette icon and then you can save it in any of a variety of formats. The potential confusions in doing this, and all of these are intentional by design, I'm very sorry about how this is confusing. There is more than one way to get to WISE catalogs, and that's by design because people want to get to the WISE catalogs all the time. So there's more than one way to get there. It's also true that the catalog that you retrieve, the table, can be saved in more than one format. And it's also true that more than one table in the search results can be saved. So this is a source of confusion. Let's see if I can sort this out. Okay, let's cover the WISE image service first. If you go to the IRSA homepage and click on the WISE icon, you can get to the WISE image service here. Now, this mechanism, this is a tool that is just for WISE data. And the way that this is set up is you have to search for images first. So let's get some images in here. I'm going to ask it for atlases and single exposures, all 4 bands from 2 different releases. Search. Okay, this is a data table, but it is not a catalog. If you click on the diskette right here, right now, it will save the contents of this table as a table. But it's not a catalog. It's a list of the search results that meet your image search criteria. This too is not a catalog. It's a list of the single exposures that met the search criteria that you put in at the beginning. Here too, if you hit the diskette, it'll save the contents of this table. That's not a catalog. In order to get a catalog, you have to go to the Catalogs tab. And the IRSA tab is in the foreground. You pick WISE by default. Then you pick which particular delivery you want. Then you pick which catalog within that delivery you want. Then you pick the specifics of your search method, whether it's a cone search or a polygon search, and then search, and it'll go get the catalog, overlay it on the images. Now, this looks the same because it's a table. This is a table, this is a table, this is a table, but this is the catalog. And it's overlaid on the images, and it's got a chart here, and you can manipulate the chart. Those are other movies. This is the catalog. So to save the catalog, go to the diskette, click on the diskette. You can save it as an IPAC table file, CSV file, tab separated, variety of VO table formats. You can change the file name by default. It's a table file, table extension. You can save the table as displayed. You can also modify it. You can add columns. You can add filters. There's other movies on that. In any case, this is the idea. Save the table, variety of formats, save. There you go. But it is somewhat confusing in that you have to do a separate step. The WISE image service searches for images first, and then the catalogs is a separate step. Okay, catalog search tool, that's the second choice. Go to the main IRSA homepage. This is going to give you everything in IRSA Holdings that is overlapping your position. But here it says search catalog, and by default it's WISE. If you click on this, it'll drop you into the catalog search tool. This is the same behavior as if you click on this catalogs. So that's 2 different ways from the front page to get dropped into this interface. Here again, you pick what catalog, broad catalog categories, then you pick which delivery, then you pick which catalog, select. Then you tell it whether you have a single object or you want to do a multi-object search. You can also upload a table, and you can do one-to-one matches. What that means is for every object in my input catalog, give me one and only one match in the WISE catalog. that matches within my specified radius and give me the results. Or you can do an all-sky search in which you can specify parameters, right? You can do that in the other interface too. But for this purposes, let's put in the same position I had before. Let me do a 10 arc minute cone search, and I want all the defaults. Run query. So it's come back. It's going to overlay it on an image here, give me a plot. There's the catalog. There's the diskette. Click on the diskette. Again, variety of formats. Save the file. Here again, I can modify it, right? Let me save this. I can, just like in the other tool, add columns, manipulate columns, change which columns are shown. I can, as a result, save the table as displayed, save the table as originally retrieved. There's other movies that talk about that. But the punchline is, to save this catalog, click on the diskette. Okay, IRSA Viewer. Let's go again to the IRSA homepage. Go to IRSA Viewer. Now, you can, from this point, if you want, click on catalogs right away. In which case, I see 417, just like we've been doing. I can do a cone search again, just like I was doing before. Here's where you put in all of the constraints. If you want to do the SQL constraints, I can do a cone search like I did before. Let's do, I don't know, another 10 arc minute search. So it's going to go get the catalog. So here again, coverage image, plot, catalog, diskette. Click on the diskette. Variety of formats. Save the table as displayed or as originally retrieved. Done. So that's the punchline. Any place you see a table like this that's a catalog, you can save it. You can also save it, though, when it's any kind of table like this. So the confusion is when you have the WISE image service results where they're giving you lists of images, you can still save it. It's just not a catalog. So if you want the catalog, you have to make sure that you're actually looking at a catalog if you want to save the catalog. I didn't address the tap search. Let me address that very quickly. If you go to the Catalogs tab, if you go to the VO tap search, this is a powerful way of interacting with it. You can do really advanced queries this way. You can also populate and edit ADQL. So you can generate the ADQL by constraining it using the GUI interface here, testing to make sure that the query works the way that you expect, then populate and edit the ADQL, copy this ADQL out and into your own code. So hopefully that helps. For other catalogs at IRSA, it's the same idea. There are a handful of archives for which we have archive-specific tools like the WISE Image Service. For all the rest of our holdings in general, it's available via the catalog search tool or IRSA Viewer. It turns out IRSA Viewer is actually talking about the catalog search tool code under the hood, so it's really the same tool. It's just manifesting in a different way. So hopefully this helps. As always, please let us know anytime if you have more questions at the help desk or ideas for more movies.